Hiko and Nitro, 400 Thieves. Hiko puts the pressure on, holding the defuse. He's going all the way with this one, all the way, and he gets it. Great stuff there from Hiko and Nitro. What a retake as he sits on that bomb. And is it going to be a hole? He gets it to halfway at the very least. He's sticking it. Pros don't fake. And that is going to feel awful for Brax, but you know what? You got to gamble that.
Oh, that is heartbreaking for Brax. He had the perfect flank. Hiko's just sticking these bombs all half. The spike is just being defused all day by this guy. So I am actually very interested in the fact that I see Steel on Cypher and Brax is the one on Killjoy. Usually those roles would be reversed. That's quite an interesting little twist in things. Now, I don't think the maps really matter all that much in this series. I know that sounds crazy, but these teams are so polished across all the maps. They come prepared, and actually both of these teams... Wow. Haven might be a little bit of an exception for T1 now. So Haven, this could be a little sketchy because all of their games come down to the wire. They're 1-3 in their last 4. That doesn't sound too great. But, I mean, they are playing outstanding teams, right? They're not losing to average Joes or anything like that. They're losing to Sentinels, Dignitas, Immortals, and they defeated Genji. So this is definitely going to be a close game. I think the impact player to watch is probably going to be AZK on Breach. If he has a good game, he looks out of his comfort zone sometimes. If he has a good game on Breach, I could see T1 stealing this map, and that would be huge for the series.
Yeah, I think we're going to be going straight into this one, so there's not too much time left of theory crafting. This will be map 1 between 100 Thieves and T1 here in their quarterfinal matchup. For me, I feel like 100 Thieves could go all the way, but T1, they're also my dark horse of this tournament, so I feel like they also have the capacity to make it all the way to the grand finals of this tournament here for First Strike North America. Right off of the bat, Sean, we've got the buy time, and we're already seeing some of these players set up.
Yeah, we're seeing some Killjoy stuff on C. A slight stack towards the C site with both the Omen and the Jet. I think both teams are going to feel each other out at the start of this round based on what I'm seeing at the spread. It could be an early B hit, though.
So early presence in mid-outside garage towards the grass position. You see Asuna looking to get in there with the Frenzy. And that curveball as well, clears some space. They've got the dark cover there on the C window as well. Quite typical stuff, clearing a lot. This is a lot of presence and threat towards the C position here, but it's actually going to be a B here. We can see most of the players now making their way into that B side. Brax there for T1 at the back, just giving up the space, doesn't want to take a bad engagement, and now his teammates are starting to make their way across. Skadoodle starting off the action there, able to take down Asuna. Steel tries to defend, and finally, Brax is able to make good of that position backside. We'll get some flanking here from Dicey, and it's already on him. Hiko can be annoying there, delay them. But we'll have to see if it's going to amount to too much. I think it was really on Dicey there. Hiko's able to deny it for a moment, but it's really not going to work out ultimately. But pretty cool strat there, Sean. It looked like they were trying to create that threat towards that C site, maybe catch a rotation out of B as they walk into the B site.
Yeah, it was definitely a very cool tactic to take garage control, try to force that rotate out of B, like you said, and then get the plant in. I think actually the Jet, I think maybe Skadoodle blocked the shock dart from Hiko, which would have actually fragged the diffuser. That was a pretty interesting note. They were trying to deny the defuse. Quick round for T1, and now we're right into the swing of things again.
Yeah, not too much investment. Some teams have been actually going for the force buy, and we did, of course, get that plant, even though they lost the round, so there is some additional money given. So that does make a potential force buy even stronger. But we'll see that 100 Thieves will opt to go for a save here, a couple of ghosts, and they'll see what they can do with their utility. On the defense here, Sean, as far as T1 are concerned, what are we looking at in terms of keeping this round as safe as possible?
Yeah. Well, what you saw from Spider right there says everything, right? He saw that smoke top C, he saw a little bit of presence coming towards him, and he immediately reeled out towards CT spawn. That tells me they're going retake C on these sketchy C pops. Although right now he moved to the back site because it's now cleared. Skadoodle prodding A for information. This is very well done early by T1 right now.
Yeah, I like how we're seeing T1 just happy to give up that plant. They don't mind too much as long as they don't lose too many players. They're really relying on that retake ability. And here goes the Sova drone. Lots of utilities to make that work. Brax with that initial position, looking for any swings from shorts. A very cheeky spot there from Dicey for the swing, but that won't amount to too much. And should be pretty good here, just taunting 100 Thieves there, tapping the spike just for a moment to force a swing, and they'll survive for 4 players. It feels like this is absolutely according to plan for T1. They were happy to give up a spike plant, and that's exactly what happened.
That was absolutely gorgeous. You could see Skadoodle was the one playing in the A site. He only had a pistol, so even if he falls, it's fine. It's fine. But he's not giving up any guns. He's not giving up a rifle. He falls with, I believe it was a frenzy. They send a drone in for the retake. Simultaneously, AZK is aftershocking, under heaven. And the retake just seems so easy for them at that point with the smokes on short and long.
Now we're into that full buy as we go to round 3. Obviously, a great start so far for T1, everything according to plan. We'll have to see what they aim to do here. So Skadoodle there on the jet looking to peek from the short position. A huge swell of players coming in here from 100 Thieves. There it is, the quick hit from Skadoodle, the dash back out into safety, and that really puts immediately 100 Thieves on a bad note. The question is at this point, do they start pressing further or do they want to reset out of this?
And look at this. Skadoodle gets that pick short ace, feels immense pressure, backs off into sight. They sense the drone coming towards them. So 3 people in this A site right now. No one in B, no one in C. Skadoodle coming up huge again with a second.
And that is what he does. Great stuff there from Skadoodle. That's a 3rd kill off the operator, single-handedly, doing so much damage to his opposition. And 100 Thieves will eventually be able to get this spike down, but it's a 2 versus 4 situation to play off of, and already their opposition are knocking at the door. Spider there on the flank, taking down Hiko, leaving just Asuna. He's going to get tagged up by the drone. His location is revealed. Great shots there, but it is simply not enough. Skadoodle with a fantastic 3K to open up that defense to help them secure that round.
Dan, I just want to say that's a massive risk by Skadoodle and T1 coming into that first gun round. Some of his teammates stayed, on the Spectres. They didn't full buy. A lot of teams use this as a gamble round where they just keep their low guns. He bought an up, and that's likely why 100 Thieves was doing a 5 A strap, because that is very unlikely right now in the pro scene. But he made it worth it by getting those 2 picks. That was such a well-played round by Skadoodle, and we're going to see a lot of him opping on short A. This is something that I think is a staple of T1's gameplay.
And what's cool right now is that we actually have Dazed on the sniper as well. I don't know if that, yeah, so they'll go for the double sniper setup. It's going to be super interesting to see how this dynamic plays out. It'll be very annoying, I feel like, for 100 Thieves to have to work around this. We'll get Asuna popping the run it back there to clear a lot of space for Garage, get a lot of information for the team as well. Of course, you can see it forces the defense quite far back. He even gets a kill out of it. That's huge. Knowing that the anchor on the C side is dead, that's going to give the opportunity now for 100 Thieves to try to pressure that position even more. Huge rotation. The spike is not moving just yet. It's a little bit late to that C side. We'll have to see if that's going to be impactful.
I have the spike.
I think Hiko is actually going to be a huge factor in this round. You can see him staying at the end of long C. He has his ult still, and he has shock darts in hand, his recon recharging. He is definitely someone to look out for in this round right now.
Yeah, very slow after that initial frag and a position gain onto the site. Both teams taking their time. Scar popping. Oh, popping the blades. He's going to pop Nitro in the face. Asuna goes down as well to Skadoodle with that ultimate. So much damage. He's here to play Hiko as well. Finishing off AZK. Beautiful hold there. That's insane, given what was coming their way. Great hold.
I swear, I haven't seen Hiko not get 2 frags with that Sova ult in the last month. This guy has not only learned Sova, he's mastered it. I don't know if he just spends his entire day chilling in average Jonas' Discord or what, but I am so impressed with how much he has progressed with this role.
It almost didn't make sense to me to see that he was doing that much damage with it, able to pick off Scar like that. But into the next round we go, and we'll have to see if 100 Thieves can build from this. Very expensive buys, again, as you highlighted, Sean, seeing the operators coming out, not just 1, but 2. Very expensive stuff, especially since the price got raised even more. And in this situation, it's, we do have that Bulldog on Dicey, so he's not, I mean, the money for both teams is really in a dire position, and it's back to that C pressure. And there's 2 players there for T1 to try and defend this. They've got Spider at backside, And they've also got AZK on the breach. He's going to be needed here. That wall's going to block a lot of the flashes. Spider able to isolate these players. That's a beautiful position to hold from. And now 100 Thieves are in some serious trouble. They've lost the spike, and it's now behind that dark cover too.
Yeah, and Spider got by the initial wave of the attack. He still has his paranoia. Oh my goodness. Just absolutely delete Steel out of the server. This round is all but done for 100 Thieves.
And we saw that, C approach coming through from 100 Thieves. Do you feel like they're trying to, in any sense, like what kind of approach are we looking at here, Sean? Because sometimes teams will be trying to condition the opponents and their defense with the defaults and trying to make them expect certain plays. What are we seeing here from 100 Thieves?
Yeah, so their first gun round they did that 5A strat, right? And this was a fake off of that. You could see they had heavy A presence early round. They had the cam holding short A. They fought for a main control at the start. But Dazed actually didn't bite. He reconned, he double shock darted, and he just left. They had 2 people on seat. T1 read this perfectly. I'm not exactly sure the tell that let them know that this was happening. But I think the most important round, or important frag of this entire round was AZK's kill on Asuna. Because Asuna was about to wrap the site and take out Spider, but AZK came in and saved him. And without that frag, I think C site falls, and this would be like a drawn-out retake.
And it's the worst time, it feels like, for 100 Thieves to struggle in such a fashion. As we can see, the situation for their money is kind of bad. They have only 3 rifles at this point in time, and they get reset on the economy, as it were. And we can see now Skadoodle on that A-along position, looking to challenge.
And this is very important. This is very important that Dicey gets this orb at C-long. I believe they're trying to get him his daggers, and there they are. He will likely pop those. And now they're going to likely regroup and try to hit something together. Now, you might wonder, why is no one playing the B site? Now, this is very common in the pro scene. People use Killjoy or Cypher to just hold this site for information and then retake it. But holy, do you see Cypher's peeking jets like that very often? That is insane.
And that's the beauty of the cage. That initial cage across allows Steel to cross to that position, and is able to defeat sort of where the kind of pre-aim is set up, the crosshair placement for Scars, to just give him that slight edge. And now it starts to get a little bit interesting. 4 versus 4. We've got Dicey moving into the B site. Has to dash away. They're not landing those initial blades. Oh, and it's unfortunate that he can't connect anything. He still created a huge amount of distraction. And the rotation in towards that B site, allowing the rest of his team into A with that space to work with for the spike plant. The retake's going to have to come in, and it should look pretty good here. T1, of course, are ahead on players and firepower. Uh-oh, that was close. It's going to be a difficult situation here for Hiko to hold by himself. You can see that he hesitated and has to try to back away out of that position. He's not going to make it all the way, though, and he's going to get detained. That's very bad.
They both got detained! No!
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's a rough one to deal with. And, I mean, Brax did pop his lockdown there, Sean, and it was a 4 versus 2, so there's always the argument to be made. Do you want to save that lockdown for a situation which is a little more marginal, where you don't already have advantages such as that round? But he decided to go for it. I feel like that shows a lot of respect to the ability on 100 Thieves.
That does indeed. Now, I want to point, Dicey did a phenomenal job of pulling the rotate into B. You pointed it out, 2 A-Link, 2 C-Link, but he needed that classic kill in order to win that round. Here's Skadoodle opping short A. Very, very common for him to do this. And it looks like they're going full retake on the C site. No one in the B site either. This is a very passive look from T1.
This could actually work out. It will be difficult to hold this. But again, that lockdown is gone now. Although, with that said, AZK has the Rolling Thunder available if things get too difficult on this retake attempt. There it is. He's going to pop it. Just going to go for it. Love to see that. Not taking any risks. Just throwing everything at 100 Thieves here. And they will not be able to hold this spike. Hiko there with those annoying shock darts. Might actually get a kill with this. Not quite. Almost. Respect the effort, but there will be a round in the bag once again for T1. They're off to such a great start here on the defense. And Sean, you mentioned Scar, and of course with that operator, he is such a presence on the map, and that feels like it's got to be so annoying to have to work around. Just the fact that around that A site, you have to worry that he could be short, he could be long, and you've got to invest a lot to try to take those positions away from T1 safely.
Yeah, and it's not going to get easier quickly right now for 100 Thieves. You can see they have no ults on the board. They are not in a good situation right now in this match. Typically, this is the bounce back time in the match. They've wasted their ults. Austin is likely going to try to get this orb, so that way he has his. There's the smoke top C. They're fighting for this orb, and Spider's just going to give it up. Austin will definitely be the player to watch this round. He's had a phenomenal match so far as a young entry fragger, but he's going to have to get some juice out of this one.
Yeah, we talked about the dynamics around the A side of the map here. A lobby just trying to take away these positions from T1. Skadoodle's been so good at just creating kills, in fact, let alone just a strong argument to avoid this side of the map. And it's going to be, the blood there is going to be called. Braxton by that short position, he goes down. Asuna able to get the entry. That's so important. So much presence. Look at the rotation coming through now. AZK pulled away from the C side of the map. He's in spawn. You can see the chaos that is there for the defenders of T1 right now. It allows Steel with this lurk up C to be able to get the spike planted, and that will give a huge advantage here now to 100 Thieves.
Massive advantage, and that spike location, dear God, that's in the middle of the open. That is a very difficult defuse right now for T1. Three flashes still on AZK. This is definitely doable, but the smoke agent is dead, so keep in mind they don't really have a very long-lasting smoke.
Well, so flash is available from AZK's perspective at least, so he could use those also. And it's going to be quite difficult, as you mentioned. Skadoodle's trying to do what he can here. That presence from Garage, actually, from Asuna is huge, but they're somehow getting the frags! T1 able to get all the frags. Defuse is coming in. I don't know if there's enough time for this one. Daze is holding it, and he's going to just barely be able to do it in time. Unbelievable retake. That didn't seem to ever be on the cards, but somehow T1 can do no wrong in this situation.
0.09 left on the spike. That is a heartbreaking round to lose right there for 100 Thieves. They didn't have anything to counter this up from Skadoodle. They were terrified to peek into him. You could see they were just respecting it so much. And it just got to a situation where all of a sudden T1 knew where everyone was. The picture was so clear as the retake progressed more and more. That was very well done, though.
Yeah, that is so crazy. What a beautiful round for T1. Going aggressive straight away outside B, and 100 Thieves are ready to go with those stingers in hand. Quick double for them as they gain all the ground towards the B site, but it's not over just yet, of course, as Spider is in the cloudburst here, seeing if he can find an opportunity with his Vandal. Finds a timing here. It's a spike go down. He wants to try to find the planter, but Nitro's there for the cover on that ceiling position, leaving just Dazed and Brax. And it doesn't really seem like there's much left to be done here. Brax lurking around a lobby will do well to keep his gun in his hands, but it's going to be an upgrade for many players of 100 Thieves. Again, Stinger's going into that round, so a little bit of desperation, but they make it work. 2-7 now, 100 Thieves starting to get something going, but can they find anything else?
Yeah, that's a thrifty moment by Playzilla right there. I'm shocked that this actually worked, because this is a desperation B hit right here late in the game. Nothing's really working for them, you know, half buy. But this last kill is actually very impactful, because this gives Hiko his ultimate, and he is deadly with that thing. So I'm curious to see how 100 Thieves incorporates that into the early round strat here. And this is, again, a heavy mid play by 100 Thieves.
We've got that double operator set up as well, once again from T1. Skadoodle up on the B boxes. We haven't seen him up there just yet, especially at the opening of the round, and that's going to give them a kill. That is confidence there from Steel, challenging Scar, holding that operator, but he is able to win that battle, and that's going to go a long way as he gets his position now onto that B site. Moving forward, Spike, plant comes through, Steel through the dark cover. Brax is waiting for him though. And that is going to make life a lot more difficult for 100 Thieves, because they've lost presence on the actual site now. So they're going to have to try and defend from outside the site. That's difficult. And Nitro's going to try to solve that by making his way around C window. And at the same time, Spider finding a classic kill onto Dicey around Grass. This is just chaotic on all of the extremities.
Oh my
Hiko, he's got the ult.
I think he saves his ult. He can't use it here. It's not winnable. So Hiko's going to save his ult here. Oh my goodness.
Heartbreaking there for Hiko.
Beautiful peek by Brax, though, coming around that CT spawn hallway. Knows to not full commit into the garage angle that Nitro's holding. And then he lets AZK finish him up from C. That is a outstanding retake by T1. This is by far the best version of T1 I have ever seen on Haven. They have come to play today.
Yeah, they're looking so good, and there is just so much experience on this T1 roster as well. And I think you put it into question in terms of the storylines. Asuna and Dicey suddenly have a lot to prove, going very deep into a huge tournament as youngsters with maybe with the least experience on the server. So we'll see how we'll keep an eye on how they are doing with their performances throughout these rounds and these maps. Once again, we'll see Scar at the beginning of the round with the operator at the top of B. And once again, 100 Thieves really hitting that heavy pressure towards this B site. Scar picks up those daggers. That's another curveball through the dark cover to make their way forward. And oh my god, this defense is stunning here from T1. 100 Thieves can't seem to break through, trying to grab the spike.
One enemy remaining.
But it's going to be dropped straight away again. Scar is looking incredible, man. The focus is beautiful from T1 at this point. You're right, Sean. This is so decisive from them. I haven't seen them looking this clinical, I don't think, really ever.
Skadoodle on the Jet right now is just... he's honestly blowing my mind. His first dagger every time is a headshot. It is... he is definitely doing a Jet diff this game right now. There's definitely a Jet diff going on right now, Dan. This is something. I am blown away by how you know he has grown as a Jet player. I mentioned it in the video about Skadoodle, but he started off this game as a Sage. Look at him now. He's just running around on Jet.
And once again, we get that short A peek. The cam there will at least allow them to have some warning of Skadoodle's positioning and the threat that he has. And at the same time, we get a drone through the C site to run it back onto the C site as well. So lots of presence there, but let's remember the spike is here. And Brax, I don't know that he saw the spike. It is in the hands of Steel. I don't think Steel was visible there to Brax. So at this point in time, T1 don't have a lot of info precisely as to what's going on. All they know is that they've lost the C site. There's the TP. That's going to tell them everything they need to know. And at this point, it's 4 versus 5 on the retake. Do they go for this? This is a tough one.
This is a tough one. This is the last round of the half, though, so they must go for it. But Steel is in a fantastic spot right now to get a 2K on this lurk. He is lurking bottom mid right now. He's probably going to go late through B or garage, and he's going to hit an insane timing. This flash from Nitro, this is a super tough retake right now for T1.
Yeah, having the double operator is definitely going to be rough, but they've done some crazy stuff so far, and there it is. The Rolling Thunder, that will cue the push to come in for the retake. Nitro backside, though, still is in a great position. He might be key in this one, taking down Dazed, slowing them down. Another frag goes to Nitro. Oh, he is clinical. Great trio of kills from him. And that's going to be a fantastic hold from 100 Thieves. Beautiful end to the first half, a difficult first half, but able to scrape away 3 rounds at the very least.
And it by no means is this game over. By no means is this game over. These teams are so well prepared this game that I am certain 100 Thieves has tons of setups they've developed on Haven to make things difficult for T1. With that being said, there is a lot of randomness in pistol rounds in these games, and they will definitely need to start this half on the right foot.
Speaking of which, Sean, is there anything that you want to see from this 100 Thieves roster on this defense? Any aggressive Cypher plays, any kind of gimmicks or tactics that we should be looking out for?
I think the main thing to look out for is where Steel's placing his trips. You can see that he has them both defending the C site with the cam and C site, and because of that, they're going to play retake on C. They have no one C, no one garage. Those trips are allowing them to do that. What a fight to win.
Yeah, that's a huge one, and it creates a lot of problems here. But given that, as you said, there is that reliant on the trips, which I think one of the trips was, I think, just discovered by Spider. In fact, Spider just destroyed one of the trips on the C corridor there, on C long, leading into the site. And right now, it's actually so difficult for 100 Thieves. A lot of guesswork here. They're deciding to rely on the cam, rely on that trip that's left in garage, and just hold the B and the A sites respectively. You can see they're not in committed positions on the A site. They're able to just hold those chokes and then fall off safely. to allow their teammates to help them if it is, in fact, an A hit. So 100 Thieves are trying to be as safe as they can while still being able to get as much information as they can without losing a player for that.
Yeah.
And
you can
Steel,
see, you mentioned that trip going down. The seed of doubt was planted in Steel's mind. He's looking to see if anyone lurked up. He has no idea. He's completely in the dark. He has to clear all these little angles by spawn right now. He's so unsure. And here's the C hit coming in. They're going to get a free sight. This is going to be a 5v4 retake, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can see that the cam hasn't been triggered yet. So that cam that Steel has in the C site could be pretty critical in at least trying to get one kill, maybe a tag on a player as his teammates come in for the retake. We'll have to see if it's going to make much of a difference. There's that tag as Steel makes his way forward. Oh, the paranoia is going to last around Scar. Steel will finish him off. Spider, though, doing so much damage, coming down into the 2 versus 2 now. Hiko and Nitro for 100 Thieves. Hiko puts the pressure on, holding the defuse. He's going all the way with this one, all the way, and he gets it. Great stuff there from Hiko and Nitro. What a retake.
Oh my goodness, T1 fluffed that one big time. All they had to do was challenge the bomb. They're all planning these little tactics to stop the defuse, but they're in such an advantageous scenario. In a 2-on-3, one guy has to stick the bomb. So that means you're in a 3-on-1 if you all peek at once. You see Daze in his bow and arrow lining up shock darts for the spike. See the guy on the left afraid to peek. Oh my goodness, Hiko stole that right from T1's hands.
And they started off on the bad foot. They were going into a retake, which was so difficult, yet they still come out on top. It just goes to prove your point. You can't count either of these teams out, no matter the situation. And we're going into the eco here for T1. They haven't decided to buy up anything too much. We've got a Sheriff on AZK, a couple frenzies as well. But pretty good anti-eco approach coming in from 100 Thieves, able to, so far, have a flawless round, not losing a single player. The C site will be given. There is a cam in this site. You can see that, again, check the cam positions. It's in a different spot than it was last time. I doubt Steel's going to put it in predictable spots. And that can allow him to, once again, get that free information. Just that one tag on one player can make all the difference. Oh. Dash for the smoke. Oh, I love this here from T1, going aggressive. They know they can't just sit on the site. That was a good effort.
I loved that, the going aggressive part. Yes, that was so cool. But yeah, Mitch, going back to Steel on the C site, you could see T1 is very aware of what he's doing, actually. They walked right up to both the C long trip and the garage trip. They waited till both sides were ready, and simultaneously they broke the trips and took the site. So that way the alert happens at the same exact time. That makes things very difficult for Steel. But looking at Steel, you could see he didn't immediately panic and activate the cam, see what's going on. He waits for the retake. And that's when he's going to activate that cam, and he's going to figure out where everyone is. And that's going to make things so easy when you have 5 players with abilities just to dump things on 3 spots.
And you can't exactly just give up the site too, because then the smoke comes down as a C long, so it creates so many problems. So yeah, so interesting, that strength for 100 Thieves on the retakes there on C. Will certainly give T1 pause for thought as they go for some A lobby pressure there. They've got some control. You can see AZK towards that A-long position. The smoke goes down. That forces any defenders that will be playing those angles to be either in the site or out of the site entirely. The drone comes through as well. And we have that different setup entirely because we have Nitro towards the C site, and instead of relying on all of the Cypher util. So this is the perfect moment to really switch up what Steel is doing, I feel like. And his cam is going to be such a problem on the retake again, I feel, Sean.
It is. And he's playing this spot in Heaven because typically Heaven gets smoked off like this, and he's going to use this cage, and there it is!
Beautiful stuff.
Oh,
there's the
beautiful trip.
We love to see that. This is just so disgusting from Steel. These players here dancing around. He'll drop himself onto the site to try to proceed to get more kills, keep the pressure on, prevent them from landing that spike plant. Dicey now creating pressure from the Heaven position. And indeed, the spike is now going down. This feels quite tense, though, for T1 as they try to hold on to this position. Drone coming through. Spike now just planted, but Asano knows precisely where Spider is. Caught, trying to reposition. Timing is absolutely perfect coming in on this retake. Nitro there with a double off the Stinger. And Brax on the flank, undiscovered, but now they know. And it's all up to Nitro as he sits on that bomb. And is it going to be a hole? He gets it to halfway at the very least. He's sticking it. Pro-stone fake. And that is going to feel awful for Brax, but you know what? You got to gamble that.
Oh, that is heartbreaking for Brax. He had the perfect flank. Hiko's just sticking these bombs all half. The spike is just getting defused all day by this guy. Oh my. But I love the Cypher setup in the A site where they put the trips around, you know, all around the bomb site, knowing that they're going to get smoked off heaven. And the second someone hits that trip, it's a free frag from heaven through the smoke. Yeah. It's such a clever little play that tons of Cyphers are doing right now.
And it really shows you as well that 100 Thieves are thinking like ahead of where T1 are at. Right now, like, again, we mentioned like the Steel's utility around C's been really impactful, but I'll hold up forward here. We've got that presence coming through onto the A lobby position once again. AZK will go down, so it feels like 100 Thieves are really comfortable right now. They can just fall back into more defensible positions. They drone through long on A, so they have more understanding as to exactly what's going on. They discovered that there weren't any players towards that position, so they could maybe presume that these ecoing players of T1 might be on a rotation right now. And they will just wait and see. There's also that possibility they reset into the short play, but there's 2 players there for 100 Thieves on short as well, so it feels like all the bases are covered.
I feel like if... Okay, I was going to say if T1 goes through Garage, it could be a big problem for Nitro. But luckily, they're going to go B here. This should be a free retake. That is a very cool arrow backside.
Oh, very nice damage there.
That's a huge overextension right there by Steel.
Yeah.
Brings it into a 4-4. This is a very winnable round here. Brax doesn't have any mollies left, though, for the bomb. They're going to flank through. They're double flanking through Garage. Oh, no, this is very scary right now for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, the timing could really be a problem. That's very important, though. That's a great hot hands there to slow things down. And that's actually going to allow Nitro to get the better timing on his flank. Easy double for Nitro, and that might just be what does it here, as we will see Brax trying to make it work there, alone with the Sheriff, looking for the shots, but Nitro is really hitting his shots so far, and that's going to be a cleanup for 100 Thieves, but as you said, that looked very dangerous, and well, thankfully for 100 Thieves, it doesn't amount to much.
I mean, you brought it up earlier in the round. Asuna with the hot hands on the Garage flank, the heads-up play from the youngster. Out of all the players in the server, I would never expect that from you know, the youngins in the server. That is so smart to molly that flank. It allowed Nitro's flank some time, and then the kills happened one by one rather than all at once. Whew, that was a terrifying situation for 100 Thieves.
We've got a 3-man setup here coming in from 100 Thieves, at least at the beginning of the round, towards this A-long position. Daze actually has that Hunter's Fury we can see up at the moment, and I do wonder if that's going to come into play in this round. And this is dangerous actually for T1. They've lost control of A lobby. That deep smoke is going to give a lot of info to 100 Thieves.
I don't know how Nitro and Steel are going to hold this hit. Nitro won't get blind, and that is definitely a very big positive.
Oh, unreal stuff there from Steel. What a reaction. And somehow gets the next one too. These guys are looking so damn good right now. Oh, that was so beautiful. Prime Gaming, flawless. Just insanity there from 100 Thieves, going from strength to strength. Sean, you said it. I don't know how they're going to hold this. Well, here is your answer.
There's a 200 IQ cage in Garage, and there's a 900 IQ one-way cage at Long C that Nitro's going to camp inside. There's a lurk camping. Jesus, that was a gorgeous setup, Dan. I'm so happy right now we got to see that. Oh, my goodness. That was such an amazing setup between those two players.
It's just so mind-blowing too, because I'm looking at that, and that looks so awkward, the way that Steel's in that corridor. Like, you got Nitro up on the crates, it just looks so awkward, but yeah, that looked beautiful in the end. And back into the A lobby pressure here into the next round. 100 Thieves, 1 round away from tying this one up into a 9-9 affair after having to come back through some really awful rounds, and obviously they were playing off of such a deficit. At the end of the first half, they had only 3 rounds, but T1 unable to find any success so far here, and that's a, we do have an ultimate ready for the Sova, Hunter's Fury. That is going to be popped there off the back of the drone. It's actually going to be 100 Thieves that managed to hold on to all these kills. The Spike is now down on the short position. Again, it's just Sheriffs here. T1 heavily outgunned, so we can't really say that this was an unexpected result, but that's it, 9-9, and this game right now is looking like 100 Thieves have their name written all over it, at least the first map, I should say.
Yeah, and I love the little you know, a gimmick from the youngsters right there on the A site. Dicey gets hit by the drone in a spot where it looks like he's holding long A. And then Asuna just dry swings long A and catches two people totally unaware that that could be a possibility. I would also be caught off guard massively in a situation like that. More importantly, they got rid of the Killjoy ult. This is now a game 9-9, Dan. I can't believe we're at this spot.
Absolutely, and we're going to see once again just this, as we've seen so many times, this is kind of how Haven plays out. You want to try to control as much position as possible. We get that early exchange around the A side of the map.
He doesn't know. Oh no, he doesn't know that the nerd cam is on the roof.
Here.
Look at this cam spot. Scott thinks it's at the box. Oh, Steel, you rat. Oh, they found it.
We'll still make a play with this, though. He does have the cage right there. This is scary stuff here. It's looking like he's ready to make a play. There's nobody near him to support this with a paranoia or anything else. Is he going to walk through his own cage? Surely he wouldn't be so brazen. He's getting to the corner. Still, he's going to try to find a timing for this. Will they notice it? Oh, God, he's going to be so careful. This is so tense right now. Steel finds a headshot. He is looking for a second. He'll get taken down. But a chain reaction of events here is off at the back of that frag. We'll find a spike plant from T1 on the B site. Asuna, though, with the hot hands, claiming forward position, as we'll see T1 falling back and out, trying to defend from the mid position, but they don't have the flank under control. Nitro is there, causing problems, going in for that window control, and just both sides, every single side is 100 Thieves right now. There's nothing that T1 can do to hold this spike.
Oh my goodness, living up to their name right now, Dan. These guys are literally stealing this match straight from T1's hands. I can't believe it. Every play they've made this half is just so nice. Nitro's always on these amazing flanks. Asuna making these aggressive mid-round plays. Steel opening up rounds as Cypher. This is insane. This comeback is unreal.
The level of both of these teams is so awesome, but just seeing 100 Thieves, how they respond to some of these positions, as you say, Sean, and controlling all of these flanks as they have been and getting the value that they have been from them is extremely impressive. It's such a joy to witness just all of the hard work and how it's manifesting going into the playoffs here from these two teams. Now, 100 Thieves, spotlight's on them right now. Can they keep this going? T1, do they switch something up? What do they do differently here, Sean, to try to change the fortune?
They haven't really given that much attention to the C site. I think using Daze ult, getting that spike down in the C site with the Sova ult, knowing shock dart lineups, they should have won the pistol on there. I think the C site is where they need to be going. They have had zero success at A.
Dicey with the operator, trying to see what he can get early on. And Asuna, I love these slow pushes down mid, especially if a team goes heavy on that A default. You can get a lot of value from this. He can just sit in the window now and wait for them to rotate out in the mid rounds. That's all he has to do at this point. And the rest of his team now just have to keep an eye on what's going on in the A side. They got the cam there for the retake setup as well. Even though T1 are taking ground towards A right now, it feels like this play into window really has 100 Thieves at a huge advantage.
Yeah, he is going to be right on their site. Austin is going to be on the flank. He broke the alarm bot. Now it's going to be in the head of Brax. Brax is going to have to turn around and watch this flank soon.
I love that he doesn't go to the flank, though. As you said, he's going to commit some resources to deal with the flank. That's never going to happen. Great stuff there. Oh, Dicey in with the ult there. The dagger's flying as the dash up drop comes through. That's insane. The right click through the cage. And now it's down to Brax and AZK. And they don't have much to fight with. But Brax sprays him down. And they're all on the ground. I have no idea what that came from. But somehow T1 found it. They found success out of what looked like a hopeless situation. T1 were not set up to do that.
I think my wrist hurts from that spray transfer, Dan. That was a whip and a half from Brax. Dear God, did he just absolutely delete Nitro there. Oh my goodness. It looks like 100 Thieves played that round so well. The retake, like you said, they broke the alarm bot, pulled Brax out of the site, hit the site, the perfect timing. But the individual heroics came up again.
Man, these teams look good right now.
They look real good.
So more A presence Here in the default, just spreading across the map. T1 winning that early map control and information exchange. Once again, Steel on that C side with the cam, with the trips. Trip on B, trip on C.
Yeah, this is very tricky coming out of 100 Thieves. A totally different look. Nitro's playing on top the B boxes with a trip right in front of him. Oh my goodness, that is a massive find in the early round.
That's such a sick bait. And now it comes to C hit. We'll have to see how much value can be had here on this defense. Ooh. That is so gorgeous from Skadoodle. Doesn't give any opportunity there for any chance to get a frag. Great movement around the site with Jet. And now it's down to the retake. We don't have really the ultimates here for this, except we did get some daggers drawn. Asuna there makes his way through, finds himself 2 kills on the opening, giving 100 Thieves, carving 100 Thieves a path forward, as Brax is again the one to have to do it, but it's simply too much at this point. And the defuse comes in from 100 Thieves. 10-10 now broken, the deadlock broken to 11-10. Are we going to go round for round here into an overtime? I feel like this first map, that's the only way that it could make sense to me, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's just very unfortunate. Asuna with a massive round again. This kid has come up so big in the clutch this game. Taking out Dazed in the A site, he had that Sova ult in his pocket, ready to just lock down the C after plant. That was a huge find to open up the round.
Oh, the money is not looking good here for T1. They're in, well, they're certainly on the struggle best.
Dice is going to challenge Ska. Ooh.
We're going to find the value there, unfortunately. The question is always going to be, where does Jet rotate off to, or does Jet stay in the same position? That operator can roam the map and really cause a lot of problems. And T1, they're going to reset towards A, it seems.
Indeed, and look at the setup from 100 Thieves. They are reading them like a book right now. Oh my goodness, 3 people in this A site. The Phoenix ult coming in, gets past the breach ult!
Oh, Asuna, he can do no wrong in this position. He's set up for success, and he's going to knock every single player down. That is just, it's just looking unfair at this point. T1, it feels like they don't get an opportunity to play their game at this point, being denied at every turn. Steel will finish off Dazed, and it's the, I mean, we didn't even talk about the Steel and Dazed kind of dynamic and face-off, but oh, this doesn't even seem fair. Just dodging the Rolling Thunder by a hair and then spraying them all down. Great display from Asuna. Again, Sean, you put it to question at the beginning of the series here. We need to see the youngsters, Asuna and Dicey, the least experienced players on the server, able to deliver in a high-pressure scenario, and so far, so good.
Asuna right now has to be my MVP of this map. If 100 Thieves wins this, he put them on his back on this Phoenix. He has had so many impactful frags. And here we go, a C-pop right now, 12-10, everything on the line. An Omen back sight with a Paranoia, a trip, a cam for the retake. This is going to be a very difficult take.
Nitro does very well from these positions. Typically, the Paranoid sends out. There's the ult, the backside to try to break his crosshair placement, and he gets knocked down there by, I think, the aftershock from 80k. The Hunter's Fury is coming for him as well, so they really put a lot in taking Nitro down, and they'll be rewarded. But Steel sneaks through. They don't see Steel coming through the backside. He finds a second kill. The headshots from Steel are so damaging. There's still a 3 versus 2 here for T1, looking good. Dicey and Hiko, though, get all of them down in the nick of time. In the chaos, they will stand tall. 100 Thieves. They started this one looking, well, it did not look good, Sean. It looked very bad. They only got 3 rounds at the beginning of this half on the first map, but they came back, and it was special.
That was an amazing comeback by 100 Thieves. The heart of that team with 2 youngsters to come back down 9-3. Hiko sticking those spike defuses in the second half. Everything just going their way. I mean, even that last retake. They threw everything at Nitro. Got an easy 5-on-4, but the retake just looked so coordinated, so fast. T1 had no answer for those retakes. Nothing. That was the difference maker for me.